Hey everyone, what's up? It is XRPL Live Friday night, and I am here with my special guest, who is also one of my favorite people in the crypto space, William Hughes, aka Classy XOGE. He is the founder of XOGE and also the new CTO and vice chair of Block. What's up, my homie?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on. Exciting times and so much going on in the space. It's been a long time that I've been watching you and your videos and your content and everything. So, we haven't ever done a video before, so it's pretty cool to finally get to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Finally, right? I mean, I know I've been following your project for like a year. Um, and guys, before we hop into it, I just want to say ask any questions down below. We'll definitely bring them up on the show because you've got William in the hot seat. So I'm sure he can answer literally any question that you have, of course. And also, please smash that like button. It helps me out. And rock on. Thanks for being here and hanging out with us. So, William, I think it's important too because we might have some people out here that actually don't even know what XOGE is. So I would love if you could just start with what is XOGE and why did you create it?
Right. So yeah, that's a pretty big question. So I'll try to sum it up as quickly as possible so people can ask their questions and such. But in the beginning, I decided I wanted to make a crypto because I actually got and it's a tough thing to say, but I'm just going to say it the way I see it. I put $6,000 into SafeMoon, and it's now worth $300. So I basically I made a bad choice, and I watched it just drain down to nothing over time, and that sucks. That's a terrible feeling. And then there was Australian Safe Shepherd, and these are both Binance tokens, and I was just screwing around, and I didn't even know XRPL existed, but I had XRP since 2017. Well, I found out, and I was like, I could make a token. It's except for I'm just going to make an honest token that people can trade. So that was the beginning of XOGE. And originally, from the beginning, it was like, I'm going to deploy this token as freely and fairly as possible. And I don't need necessarily a budget or anything. I'm just going to try to make it better with other people and see how it goes. So since that humble beginning, it's just been trying to add utility and value to it through, sweat equity and work like putting together a validator for XRP, working with other projects. We've got tools like Monocle. Obviously, we're chaining now, so we've become an arbitrageable asset. And eventually, after the clones are finished up, I'm aiming for full decentralization. And to achieve that, I'm going to ensure that master wallets are all basically dead and gone, and I own less than 5% of anything. And there's no one single point of failure that could, cause the project to essentially rug or be destroyed or shut down by a government. Nothing. It's just people will have the asset as fairly as possible, and then we'll work on it to make it better together. I don't have any intent on going anywhere after I decentralize it. I just have intent on dissolving the Washington State LLC that I have, because I found, I got one of those set up because it's a business, right? And I need to be as proper as I can, especially in a space with very limited help from government agencies on how one should conduct themselves. So, and in that line of thought, Patrick Riley proposed Blockchain Leadership Oversight Council, and it took us a year to build the framework just about to make that all work so that there was much better, clear set of guidance for our own projects, but then also other projects. And yeah, it's been a really long journey of building, but that's what we do. So
I know you do. Like you work really, really hard to, I mean, like the clone overs, everything, we'll get into that, but like that's all extra that you do for your community. And I think that that speaks volumes for the person that you are. And just, one of the reasons that I really believe in this project. But first, can you introduce us to your little friend? Because that is like, she's stealing the show.
my hi. Yeah, this is Monkey. I actually call her Monkey because she she likes to climb on people, on their shoulders when you're walking even. Like I'll go to the kitchen to get a snack and she'll just ride along the journey. So, yeah.
Oh, she's like the cutest thing in the whole wide world, and I love her.
I
So,
shoot a lot of video with her just every time.
well, she would definitely help you get more views, I think. Like, I would tune in for the puppy. Not that you're not awesome, but I love that puppy.
I'm okay at best, but yeah. I mean, she's good.
So, I was reading your white paper like I do, and I saw this quote. It made me chuckle. The XOGE project is not funded by you. Buying tokens does not help the project any more than buying a skateboard helps a seagull. I love
Yeah.
that. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, and what I mainly meant by that is I do really want the value of XOGE to go up. I care about that a lot, but whether the value of XOGE is in a trash can or it's mooned, it doesn't truly affect the work or effort that I put into it, and it never has. I've been here every single day since I launched the project. I didn't miss any days because I had COVID. I didn't miss any days when I didn't feel like it because whatever was going on in my life. Just staying steady with that. I don't draw a paycheck off of XOGE, and I don't intend to. Nobody does. And a team that doesn't need any resources to continue to work, doing it because they want to, in my opinion, is a really good model because you kind of know what you're going to get as far as they're not only are they not selling tokens constantly to try to pay these 100K plus people who
Mhm.
are then taking pictures of their Lambos and showing off to you their penthouses. But yeah, I don't have any of that fancy stuff, but I'm here and I'm trying to make things awesome for all of us. So yeah, that's that's where that is. When you buy XOGE tokens, you quite literally are buying them from someone else. And here recently, I burned 6 trillion XOGE of my own to bring myself under the 5% mark that I want for decentralization on XRPL, and then somebody else had sold, quite a bit. So I ended up buying a
Cough, cough.
trillion. Yeah, the unnamed we won't mention, but
Who knows
yeah,
who he is?
yeah. So I bought some, and then other people are as well. But I mean, anybody can sell, and they're freely traded. But what I mean mainly by that statement is when you buy them or the value shifts up or down, it's somebody else who's typically holding those because of the way that we deployed with those airdrops. It was like 8 months of no value and free airdrops for XOGE, and a lot of people making fun of us. And I was like, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna keep going and we're not going to give up no matter what. And here we are, on our sixth blockchain. We have alt here, multi-wallet reading asset, shows you all your percentages on every blockchain, and eventually that'll read all of them and probably be a faucet as well, and be giving out free XOGE to people. And I know that we've also got some other really really cool stuff coming down. Some nice freebies too, and we've been really fortunate on freebies. We work and help other people, and other people then work and help us as a result. So, where others may have to pay quite a bit to get good good deals and things like that, we just we trade, I guess, labor for it. We put in a lot of work. That's it.
Yeah, but that's such a wholesome way to build a community and look out for each other. I can't say I could know many projects that are doing that. I think that that is huge. So,
Yeah,
mad respect.
one of the bad things in XRPL or any blockchain actually is when your founding team is not only selling the tokens to pay for marketing, and taking out of the decks, but they're also doing that to get it hosted onto different exchanges and things like that. This is all fiat leak, and then on top of that, they want to take a salary too, and it's like how much pressure can you put on the back of regular people? So to make something that is, much more people friendly, realistic, organic, no trading bots, nothing like that. The XOGE community, those people out there tweeting, yeah, they're holders. They have a vested interest in making it better. That's the definition of DeFi, though. Like owning what you own. Like nobody can take that XOGE out of your wallet. If you're making it better, you're making your future better. That's like a side job in a way, right? So it really does open doors for people. And that's what I was hoping this project would be. And I'm going to see it through it up until the point where all the clones are done. We've got it nicely decentralized, safe, and I'm running the website. I'm going to continue to do that forever, just like a community member, because it's $60 a month. So just like the other servers that I've ran or paid for, I've done that myself just for the project to make it better. Because I work a regular full-time job like most people who are trading in crypto, and all people really needed, and what I've said from the beginning, is a fair market to trade in. That's all they wanted, is one that isn't a damn scam, and it isn't a rug, and they just want to be able to trade crypto and hope it works out. Nobody's asking for like an immediate moon, but what they are asking for is there not to be 6 wallets holding 50% of the supply, like a hammer over everybody's head. And that's what you get when you get Shiba Inu on Ethereum. They have that. And then on top of it, it is, I would say that XOGE is probably the cleanest asset I've ever seen. And here's why. We straight up deploy for free to people via clone overs. We then take the master supply, we dedicate it to NFT staking or faucets, and it goes out to people fairly and freely. Whereas even in like layer 1 top tier assets, you've got the founders getting massive payoffs. You've got just a tremendous amount of stuff as far as like Jeb being able to sell XRP for years and make like $1 billion. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah.
if you go to any blockchain, just about all of the founding teams have gotten like exorbitant amounts of it. And I'm not gonna knock them. They built like the world's best infrastructure, right? Somebody had to do it. I understand they're gonna get to have a massive profit from that, but that's just not what XOGE is. XOGE is about regular people having a chance to win, and that's what I hope to achieve with it.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. All right. So you mentioned obviously XOGE is a multi-chain meme coin. What chains have you deployed on already, and which ones are next?
Right. So as of right now, coming up, we're looking in the very near future. Saturday, I'm going to close the clone form for Binance, and Algorand is going to go to Binance in a clone over. We're on Algorand and XRP. We're on XDC. We're on XLM. I don't know if you're typing. So
I was typing.
Yeah.
I dropped you a comment in the private chat. I'm getting like a little bit of feedback on your mic.
Oh, you know why? Because I'm sorry about that. I power bombed it off the desk, and then I JB welded it back together right here.
That is awesome.
I don't look, Jenna. I don't got that cool ass mic that you got that make me sound good. I literally I make things work like a regular person.
Listen, just because I have to be extra and glowy, right?
It looks good though. It looks good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit jelly.
Thank you. I think it's cute. It's like a little nightlight. I love it. So, okay, like as far as like all of your clonovers, how long does that take you to do? Like this is a lot of hard work that you're putting in. I want people to understand you're doing it yourself. You don't have a team doing this. It is you. And then what happens to their information afterwards?
Yeah, so it's a super important question. Hopefully my feedback is a bit better. I don't know. Okay, so I obviously collect just email in conjunction with an address on both sides. So, where you're from and then destination. It's usually, I got to go through and check for fraud. I got to check for duplicates. I got to check to see if it's a large person claiming, and then if that email is actually the person who I believe that it should be. So most of the whales I end up really scrutinizing them to be sure that somebody else isn't trying to somehow hijack their claim or anything.
Mhm.
And then after that, I get the form all cleaned up, and then I do the transactions, and that could take anywhere from 2 to 5 days at roughly 6 hours each, somewhere in that ballpark.
Wow.
Yeah. But
Wow.
I don't have any automation for it really, aside from the form and then them submitting it. And even the form is only halfway automated because if if I just put the form that people submit live, it would dox their emails too. So I can't do that. I gotta have two forms, one facing the community and one internal.
That's awesome. Like that's so much work, but it's so cool that you do that. Like no one's doing that for their community. And I remember one day I made a post about like what if like XRP would fail? Like what if, right? And you were like, "Oh no, Jenna, you just poked the beast." And you're like, "Hey, so I've got this multi-chain thing going on." I'm like, "Oh, wow, great idea." You're like, just in case, because you want to, have the community covered. And I think that that's great. And also, creating this arbitrage opportunity. Um, but also within your ecosystem, you have paw and you have snacks. And I would like it if you wouldn't mind like going over what the use case is for each of those.
Right. So, briefly on Snacks. Snacks was just a rewards token meant to be fun. Typically, rewards tokens have no real function, and they're usually a fairly bad idea to implement. However, knowing that I was going to be doing clone overs, Snacks became a light utility that allowed me to include that into the clone overs, but have a secondary price for that for people. And those who are very opportunistic have managed to increase the yield on their clone overs from XRP a few times now, by picking up some snacks in a pinch and then getting those in the clone over. So that's where Snacks is. And then also, Snacks sponsors other projects NFT deployments. So, Physical Digital, which is a block project, as well as Moonboy have both now gotten on with Snacks for deployment, and also Snacks is done via StakeX. So Snacks has a little bit of activity out in the ecosystem, and some people, obviously, everybody, the meta right now is gaming clones and buying low, and then whenever it peaks before a clone, turning around and selling it and all that. And volume and activity, there's always going to be, winners and losers in a chart moving, but the idea is to breathe life into the chart and make the chart have activity, right? So these are functions that create that. And in having token assets on the DEX and all of that, you literally bring XRP itself to life, because an empty DEX, a DEX with no tokens on there, wouldn't even be a utility to XRP itself. They made it so that we could make cool stuff. That's what we got to do, right? So that's Snacks. And then paw is yield farming, and I haven't sold any paw tokens for months now, and I don't intend to, because every time I sell some, it actually creates, like, I would get obviously XRP for that, and then I could use that as tokens to back liquidity in liquidity pools for XOGE assets to that parent asset on other chains. But at the same time, like, yield farming is a tricky thing. If it's not a Ponzi and it's done right, the percentage is fairly low, right? So it takes an asset sitting there for quite some time to build up like steam and power, and then topple what it originally cost to be in there. So if you put one XRP in a yield farm that's not a Ponzi and it's real, you might be looking at 10 months, 11 months, 12 months to actually see one XRP worth and value come back out of that, right? So I'm not a big fan on selling it, as much as I've already sold some. We're already backing the XOGE assets, and then the money that comes back from that, from trades of those assets, goes to paw holders via airdrops. So that's where paw is. Paw is like a light utility kind of backup. It was required to be able in most ecosystems, unlike the XRP, but it's coming in the 30 update. Most ecosystems have market makers. So we don't yet, but ours will be better. On XRP, it's just, and I know we're multi-chain, so I'll have people in other chains commenting, and I'm not coming at the other chains because I'm obviously I like those ones too. But the reason that the one on XRP will be better is because it'll be baked directly into the code of the blockchain rather than through a website infrastructure that can be hacked, which makes it way more secure, way more resilient, right? These other ones, they do run websites, they have been hacked. There are millions of dollars that have been lost. It it sucks, right? So that's a risk that XRP is going to bypass by baking it into the code, which is super cool. Just like when we put up our NFTs, it's baked into the code, the royalties, unlike with Ethereum. So since Ethereum isn't, the royalties can be bypassed on the websites, right? So NFT creators are like, this kind of sucks. High transaction fees, slow blockchain, royalties being bypassed by the website so that they get the business from the end customer. They're not liking that very much. So once again, we're going to see the same thing on XRP's baked in AMM.
Got it. Wow. Thank you for all of that. And I wanted to ask something. We are getting some questions from our viewers, which is awesome. But you mentioned about running your own XRPL validator, which is the XOGE Rocket 1, I believe. Did you not build this yourself? I think you told me you did, right?
Yeah. It was a bit of work and very tricky, but yeah, it I think it took a couple months to figure out. Unfortunately, none of the documentation worked from Ripple, so I could set it up. I ended up I looked at it and I said I can make that. I didn't build the actual hardware. I usually build computers, like that's my thing. Hardware not an issue for me, but
Wow.
because it's a server PC that you would want to use for this, um, it's like I could run a validator on like a desktop with enough cores and RAM and all of that. It wouldn't be an issue. But if you want actual redundancy in power supplies and you want the thing to be stable and you want the thing to be, you know, really the best environment to do something professional and stay online 24/7 and not screw around, you get a 1U, a 2U, one of the one of the blades, one of the rack mount units kind of thing. So I ended up ordering this Dell PowerEdge one for like, I don't know, $1,500, and then I threw in like an $800 hard drive in it, and then from there figured out how to make Ripple D do what I needed it to do, and then we got it running. So yeah, that's what we did.
Wow. Like, no big deal. That's awesome. Very
Yeah,
cool.
I think it's important though, because I mean we've got like 119 or 115 something mainnet, but that's really not a lot. Like if you think about it, I have a Ripple validator, one of like 110 roughly in the world, sitting in my garage for over a year, making XRP be able to transact for these people who are sending millions and tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's like, dude, I'm literally running on paper clips here, buddy. And I'm okay with that, but I actually applied to Ripple, and I said, let me get a developer grant. Let me put up XOGE Rocket 2, XOGE Rocket 3. Let me make a Massandra like a pair and have, one forward facing online and the other two backing it up offline, and a really nice add to the XRPL. But, it's like, who are you, guy? We're not doing that. So
Right.
that didn't work out, but it would have been cool. And I would have tried like hell to get it, but
How much, if you don't mind me asking, like how much does it cost to run an XRPL validator?
well, I have a one gig internet connection, and it's like $60 a month. So for me, the connection's already, which is like the most important thing I would say, already
Okay.
aced that. And then you just have power And obviously you got to pull it down sometimes and blow it out. Like I got an air compressor, so it's no big deal, but you have to keep it clean. I don't have a clean room or anything. So, but all in all, I would say per month, I don't know, like 30, $40. Now, if you go the Amazon web server route, you could be looking at like 120, 160 per month.
Okay. Okay, now we know. But I think that's great that you help support the community, just all that you do. I think if you have a project on the XRPL, you should be running a validator. I just think it makes sense to contribute
Yeah,
to the ecosystem.
it would definitely help. And just a lot of people, you know, it's like the utility that they build, they want it to affect the price of the asset that they've made, and I can totally understand that because that's important. But our infrastructure is also important, and part of being decentralized or away from, you know, any entities being able to stop us would be having 20 or 30 XRPL projects saying, well, we're all running validators, so even if Ripple does decide to leave the US or close up shop or anything, the XRPL never has to go away. And that's a real thing. If we have that, if we have the servers, we're allowed. Like we can do it. We can keep it going.
Right, right. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. They think like that the XRPL cannot survive without XRP too,
Uh,
and it can.
yeah, yeah, it totally can. I would think that they're really concerned if like something bad happens to Ripple, but Ripple could shut down shop and we could still make it work. It's just people would have to take initiative and get things done. Is all. And there are people out there like Zum, you know, building that wallet. Like that is such a important, powerful tool for everybody to have
Hmm.
Zum who did that, right? And that's just the kind of stuff that it takes to make things work. I don't think that you know, Zum was founded by Ripple in any way. So,
Right.
but that's like our main tool for accessing XRP related content on, you know, in XRPL.
I think the problem that I have, and it's not a problem, but it's kind of more of a frustration, is the lack of willingness of people when I show them the Zum wallet and explain how to add a trust line, do this and that, they don't want to do it. It seems like too much, or they're just not open minded enough to learn about it. And it's like, honestly, though, once you do it a couple times, you've got it down. It's not hard. I just don't understand why people are so scared of this technology. And I don't know how to make it like just do it. Like, do you understand? You get people like that, you have to.
Absolutely. And I think the best way for people to learn is in a mitigated risk scenario. So if you have like, you know, 2,000, 3,000, whatever XRP in your account and you're concerned with losing it, um, don't use that account to play games, right? Use
Yeah.
your account that has, make one that has 50 XRP in it. When people go to scan a QR through Zum to add a trust line, that is some seriously techno googly boot bop up on the screen, and you know what I'm saying? It just
Yeah.
like it looks like you're like commander of some spaceship or something about to like destroy your wallet because the way that it's all done, like the URL is huge, it's got all the squigglies in it,
Right.
it's got some address in there that you don't really know, and it's like the prompts that some give you are like, are you willing to risk everything in your life to make this action? And you're like, whoa, I don't even know what I'm doing. And then you have to click these confirms and stuff. So it does.
Mhm.
Now on Algorand or in like HBAR, the prompts and everything that you see for adding an asset are a lot less alarming. So I think if Zum kind of does maybe a couple stages of beautification, we could probably get people to be a bit less nervous. But adding a trust line for people is a bit scary, just
It
because of
is.
the pop-ups and stuff. Yeah,
It
yeah. I'll tell you honestly, the first time that I added a trust line, I thought I was going to get hacked. I actually did because the thing, it was like almost like one of those old websites that did all these cookie pop-ups and everything. Stuff started popping up I wasn't expecting, and then I was like, what is going on? And now it wants me to scan this, and of course I didn't even know who Zum was at that point, really. And I was like, I don't know.
I think, can you hear me okay? My mic just did a weird thing. Okay. Yeah, like I think I've been messing with the Zoom wallet for like, I don't know, like a year and a half now, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't used MetaMask except to do something on Songbird, but like that's it. I'm so happy, and people talk about fees and like this and that and bridges and swaps, and like I don't have to deal with that, and I don't want to. I think when people realize like what's going on over here and they just use XRP, they're gonna be like, wow, and like the XRPL. And I think people know it's coming. And I think I would love to hear your input on this, but like the future of NFTs on Ethereum, I think I think that that's kind of over a lot of it. I think that they're coming over to the XRPL, but I think we also need to be careful because there's a lot of projects who, you know, have failed or scam people on ETH, and now they're going to HBAR, now they're going to XRPL, and we've seen people scam on XRPL that are now going to HBAR that are trying to, you know, go around to these different communities. But I really feel like now with XLS20, it has been a complete game changer for us, and I think that we're going to see a lot more people coming over here to build.
Yeah, absolutely. My concern for the projects are like, if you look at the way that XOGE does multiple asset releases and supporting them, we've never had a release of anything that we don't continue to, try to incorporate or build in with our ecosystem. So when there's a line or a token released somewhere and then it's abandoned for going somewhere else and just full stop, like they don't do anything for it anymore, that for me is a big red flag. um, there's been a lot of money transacted over Ethereum for NFTs, and they kind of thought that their saving grace was going to be Solana. Like after their kind of like the buzz, the gold rush, the heyday over in Ethereum, a lot of them went to Solana and started doing the same things. And obviously that didn't quite work out the way that they had hoped. So then they start, coming into other spaces. HBAR, we're on HBAR. NFTs are incredibly hot over there. Meme tokens are incredibly hated, and they have very few actual projects on that chain. Very few. It's mostly an NFT community, like all of HBAR. So, it's growing, it's new, and I think it's going to do well. And I also think XRP, of course, is definitely going to do well. Um, the transaction fees on the blockchains are absolutely critical for everybody, and it isn't just about now; it's about when the assets are worth, 100 plus, 200 plus, or 1,000 plus, and those transaction fees, instead of becoming that 5 and 10 or $5,000 that it is sometimes on that, it's still, just a penny or less. And people really need that. People don't have money to throw away, 10, 15, 20 bucks. And if especially in meme coins like XOGE, I couldn't imagine trying to be a Shiba Inu flipper, because you figure you have to do two transactions. You have a buy and you have a sell. So that's two transactions. If you're only flipping $100 and you have two transactions that are $5, that's $10. That's 10%. The chart would literally have to move greater than 10% from your original purchase to your sell point, and then you would only get upward of whatever was over 10%. So if the chart moved 20%, there you go. You get 10% when you sell because of those two transactions. So it matters a ton, especially when that money is just kind of pointless. You would think that after they left mining and stopped using all that energy, they would go, yeah, let's do away with transaction fees at the same time. I run the XRP validator. I do not get paid. I do not get transactions. That's what it's called to double down and support something, right? And I believe to make a healthy ecosystem, XRP did make the right choice. That's a good choice because at the end of the day, people are going to do it, like myself, like others, for the simple sake of having something better, right? And that's what the XOGE project is about. It's about making something better for people, and that validator it's in line with XOGE beliefs. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, definitely. I have a question for you because there's questions about block, and I think that this is something we definitely need to get into. Will you explain, kind of give us a little bit of a summary of what block is? And then I will hit up the questions that we have about that relating to XOGE.
Yeah, definitely. So I am vice chair right now in block. That is subject to change by a vote, and positions will change in time. New projects come in, and we have votes for people who have talent and skill to do those roles so that other people can be in those positions and nobody's stuck with the workload of those positions for a prolonged period of time or become one of those people in government that everybody wants to get rid of but can't, right? So block has a good structure as far as moving people around and things like that. But as the structure of block goes, it is mainly a best practice guidance and support system for projects. People come into the space who may end up being bad actors simply because they don't understand best practices. And things get away from people, and it's a hard space. And if you're a project and the space is competitive and no project is your friend and you're the new kid on the block, who do you ask to actually get a good answer who isn't going to screw you over and tell you to do something stupid that's going to ruin your project for the remainder of it, right? So there's got to be some kind of body for people to lean on, help them go down the right path, and prevent the ecosystem from being further damaged by bad projects. So block in essence is like a double-edged sword. And one side, we literally help people who aren't even block projects. I'll give you a good example. Moonboy came to me, had a big meeting, helped him how to set things up, made sure that he doxed, made sure he did everything right. I got Ripple Reefs I'm going to have a meeting with. It's all not something that's publicly out there that people know, but people come to me and I'll spend time helping them just so that their project doesn't fail to the absolute best of my ability. And so will other people in block, Duncan and Patrick and so on. We'll go on Zoom calls with them just to help them. We'll go through their white paper with them and just try to get things figured out.
It sounds like a woodpecker
Yeah.
in your background.
Give me one sec.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No problemo.
Somebody typing a lot.
I know it sounds like you're feverishly typing, and I'm like, wait, I can't hear you. So okay. As far as the block, like that's really cool because I think what a lot of projects fail to do is get a legal opinion before they get started, and then they start selling these tokens, and then we run into the are you an unregistered securities problem. So I think that's really cool. And you guys actually do have attorneys that are part of the block, if I'm not mistaken, right? I believe Fred Rispoli is a member, and I think you work with some others.
Yeah, Fred is in there and he did the amicus with Patrick for the case that's going on, and Deaton has been in there. Deaton is currently busy, but Deaton did say that after his he's in the middle of stuff too. After he wraps up these things that he has going on, that he would also be available to us. So that's really promising.
Awesome. So, okay, we have a question from one of our viewers. What is the role of XOGE in block? Also, after the multi-chain thing, what can we expect about XOGE? How could it go up in value?
Right. So XOGE and block it's I'm vice chair, like I said. So I basically do the best I can to support everybody. Put in my 2 cents. I cast votes, and Yeah, that kind of stuff. I'm kind of tertiary support level for all block task and infrastructure. And then as CTO, which is Chief Technical Officer, it's all fancy stuff, guys. I'm just a regular guy. But at the end of the day, we need a CTO. We're going to get one. And I hope that, they're competent in multiple blockchains. The reason that I'm doing it is because, like I said, I'm vice chair and I'm third layer of support. So somebody had to fill that role. But because XOGE is so multi-ecosystem friendly, it I have knowledge of things and other um, groups and stuff going on other chains. So it kind of fit well for that. And then XOGE is a multi-chain asset. So is Block. You could be a Block project and be an HBAR asset or NFT line. It's just if you adhered to the Block principles and did all of that. So um, part of the idea in that is that XOGE will help bring other blockchains, parties, and projects to Block and grow in those ecosystems as well. So Block is not static, like it's not stuck on the XRPL.
Okay. So I want to bring up something. This is not block related, but the other night we were in a Twitter spaces and Charles Hoskinson came in, and I know he was making his predictions. You asked him a question, everything. So now, today, did you see the video that he posted earlier?
Absolutely, I caught that. Yeah, I have a comment on that for sure, but if you've got one, go for it, and then I will drop mine.
Well, he is saying that he does not know how to address the XRP community anymore. He doesn't know how to speak to us. And I feel bad because I know that the XRP army has really bullied him. And, he just said what he thought. And yeah, it was a rumor, but he's a normal person. He heard what he heard and said what he thought. I think he's a really cool dude. So I think the XRP army needs to cut him some slack for real. But you go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm on board after actually getting to speak to him. He seemed like a pretty level-head, chill guy. Guys, he's in the middle of a fast on top of that, so he was on like his eighth day. And I think that he's still fasting. So even on that new video that he put out, he probably hasn't eaten for like 9 days. So yeah, I'm sure he's struggling. But what I will say overall in support of XRP and why XRP acts this way, and I really hope Charles actually catches this so he can see what the fundamentals are that are causing the backlash. So he really understands because I know he's intelligent after talking to him. But
Yeah.
yeah, um, imagine this: like you grow up, you have a brother, you have a sister, and that brother or sister's fighting with you, and every time you walk by them, they're like they throw a fake punch or they might hit you. Eventually, when you walk by them, like you're on guard all the time, you're ready to block. Sometimes you're throwing something back, right? You're getting it going because you got to defend yourself. At any rate, what this equates to is the XRP has been the most budded asset in crypto history, bar fucking none. And they're ready to put their foot down and bash their head against anybody's until one breaks open at any drop of the slightest bit of BS. And what I mean by that is, all in all, it's like I've even said, hey guys, the reason XOGE wants to go to other blockchains is because we want more avenues of possible success, right? It increases our odds and the arbitrage and all that. There's a ton of good reasons. And I've had a couple people say, you're not an XRP maximalist. And I'm like, whoa, bro, I'm not saying XRP won't moon. And even like Stuart Alderati, he says, we don't have consumer facing products. We have business facing products. And even I turn around and say to him, listen, you little sucker, we done bought your token and funded your legal battles and all this. You better bring us with you when you moon, right?
Right.
Don't forget about it. So not even the damn David Schwartz of the planet can turn around and say something snarky. even mildly snarky, you got a twitchy eye, the riddlers will see that. So no matter what element you come at XRP with,
Yes.
the community is straight up fire ready to respond. And we're so battle hardened, everything's a fight. This is the hill that we chose to fight on, and we're not letting any bullshit slide. So what I would say when addressing the XRP community as a whole, for anybody, come in gentle and always just be cool. Just be chill. Don't say like you better be really well liked in the damn community to even have a twitchy eye when you say something snarky. Like they're gonna know, and they're gonna be like, "What do you mean by that? What are you talking about?" You know.
Yeah,
So
it's such a you are 100% correct. It's such a fact, but the thing is, I know that we have defended and everything, but at the same point, I think that maximalism in any cryptocurrency in any tribe, like it's not great, guys. It's not good. It can get very toxic. And I know while we are all very, very passionate and I'm a peaceful XRP maxi. I mean, I'm 90% XRP, 10% XRPL projects and NFTs and other things. They're not XRP. But yeah, I'm 90% XRP. But at the same point in time, I don't think that this will be the one and only. No, I think Bitcoin has its place, guys. Like I absolutely do as a store of value, but it's not high enough ROI for me. And that's why I don't buy. But, how many times have I gone into an XRP or I mean into a Bitcoin maxi room in Clubhouse, right? And I've been instantly kicked out because I brought up something else or whatever. And yeah, sometimes I troll them just for fun. Like it is fun for me. But that's not how we help educate new people, right? I think educating them on cryptocurrency as a whole, the cycles, how to be safe, and just, financial literacy in general is so important. So, I just think that we gotta stop the fighting.
yeah, and that's a big call for XOGE right there. Is part of it is dissolution of crypto cultism, and I've alluded to that multiple times. Guys, we've got government entities that swing the bat across all of crypto. I think crypto as a whole needs to be more cooperative. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to root for your team, but you also got to love the game, right? So all in all, support the whole sport, I guess. And in that, Soj, part of the project and our intents are to showcase all of the amazing skills and abilities of the other ledgers out there. Like a lot of people don't even know how cool like Algorand is or HBAR, XLM. Some of the things that they have we don't have. They've taken like a fundamental, really good fast transactions, lots of TPSs, low cost, and then they've all got these other little quirks that make them kind of better in certain ways on other things. So the best way that I could break it down is like, man, I really wish XRP had Algorand's multi-send. I was able to do the clone over in like 3 minutes.
Wow.
Boom. Yeah, and I just don't have that on XRP. We have airdrops; they transact one at a time, that kind of stuff. Um, but breaking down crypto cultism, working together, understanding that, hey, we really do want all of crypto to go up. And the utility end goal, if Ripple is focusing on B2B, which is business to business, that leaves such a huge market for XLM and Algorand to focus
Mhm.
on commercial goods. You went into a grocery store and you bought your food with some algos, but your XRP is like your freaking gold and cross-border, transactions and stuff. So, is there enough room for all of this? Hell yeah,
Mhm.
because money is literally moving everywhere. And if crypto assets were to replace fiat assets, even if every single crypto on the board right now in the top 1,000 on like coin market cap were to moon, we still wouldn't even come close to covering all the nation's currencies that are issued right now. There's a tremendous amount, like thousands of national currencies in the world. Well, if all of those were just replaced, like there's tons of room. We don't even got to look at each other as potential adversaries. That's part of the whole XOGE multi ecosystem thing. Is let's let's get something going in everything and see what moons win, and we'll be there. I don't want a lost scenario for the XOGEs. That's what I'm saying. I want us to win. So in the meantime, while we're doing our arbitrage game and adding velocity and liquidity to our assets that are the weakest in an arbitrage game of selling off, maybe you sell some of your mooning XRP XOGE and then buy up some of the other chains and make those ones come up, you end up getting more XOGE tokens, but at the same time, you're diversifying your portfolio and getting assets on those other chains. And at any time, any of those could land some really epic deals or start to go up nicely. And there will be days, I swear, where we will see Algorand in the tanks and XRP up. Well, every time that happens, that's an additional option for you to be playing in the game, a market that you may not have experienced or encountered without XOGE. On the XOGE website, I've got all the chains, what wallets to use, how to add XOGE, and that kind of crypto training is just what the XOGE community and ecosystem does. Like, this is all stuff for regular people.
And you said, and that's just it though. You said training. I mean, it was an educational experience for me. I never held my algo wallet. So I had to open up one of those. I opened up an HBAR wallet, and I remember, messaging you, and I felt so bad doing that because I know how busy you are with everything. I'm like, I'm really, really sorry to ask this, but is this the wallet or is this okay? And you making the videos is super helpful because I think that can, answer a lot of questions and everything. But yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Usually, you got to think the gateways to going. Like, let's say you actually, I eyed Algorand, like the side of my eye, peripheral vision, for a couple of years. I was like, man, I've heard a lot of good things about that. Someday I want to get some of that. And I just never did because I didn't do a search. I didn't find out what wallet was good. I didn't, transfer any funds to over there. I just didn't do it. I had crypto assets in other places, but until I was incentivized in a way through the XOGE project where I was like, well, I'm going to get a clone over, and here's what wallet I should use, and here's what asset I have to do. Okay, easy peasy. And it's like you get a blueprint of a few clicks to do, and then you're on board. It's really not that bad, but it's a lot of footwork. Like, before we go to a chain, I got to go and find out, okay, here's all the wallets, which one's good, which one's okay, which one has internal dApps or XApps and that kind of stuff. So there's all the footwork and stuff kind of done before people even get recommended wallets and stuff like that. We just do the best we can. That's it.
Right. That's all we can do, honestly. I know it's almost been an hour. I hate to keep you too long. I want to ask you, do you think that the bottom is in yet? What do you think is going to happen with XRP, Bitcoin? Tell me where you're at on the markets right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if we go down more. Like, I know that what is it? The Bank of International Settlements just said, like, in a Cointelegraph article today, that 2% of banks' assets are going to go into crypto. I think before the banks want to do that, they probably want more FUD in the market and more of a downtrend first, because they don't want to pay you. Come on now, don't be crazy. They want to come in at market deals and really be able to capitalize and show growth of assets. So they're not probably going to buy into a market that's slowly bleeding out. I think we need to finish, really, really touch hard bottom and be sure of it, start a nice solid retrace. And, as it stands currently, everything's following Bitcoin. So there's a lot of people watching that. And for a while, the Bitcoin people, the community as a whole, have been extremely maxi-ish. And in that, they're telling everybody constantly to double down and buy, double down and buy. So I think the Bitcoin community as a whole is pretty much out of fiat to double down and buy, and they're just kind of hoorahing and cheering around. And then because of that, any real movement can only go in one of two ways because of those factors. One being down more because some of those community members are deciding to sell or up because the bottom is actually in. So what can actually happen? I wouldn't be like a good chart analyst because I literally always look at crypto as fuck, I don't know, anything could happen. Like that's my actual outlook on it, and it's always been that way. I pick the things that I like I believe that they have a future, and then I say, okay, someday that thing may be badass, and on that someday that it is badass, I may be lucky enough to have made some money off of it. But I don't play in crypto as a means to make my living. Right, I work a real job every day, and with the XOGE project, I don't do that as a means to make an eventual amount of great money. I actually do the XOGE project with intent of building a portfolio of value and trust worth something to a company so that I don't have to climb through an acre field of blackberries like I did today, dragging a hose and almost dying a few times because at some point I'm going to be too old and too slow, and I'm not going to be able to catch my balance off on those rocks, and I'll probably fall and stuff like that, and I'll get hurt. So
That's
that's,
really morbid. Like,
yeah.
stop. So Doge has to work out. Yeah. No, question though for you. Back to your education and you're talking about, this arbitrage opportunity. Are you going to educate people on how to arbitrage, because there's math involved in this, math formulas. Like, I know whenever I would look for arbitrage opportunities, just say on XLM alone, and I was messing around with my lobster wallet, I would go to like turn IO and I would like find out what's the turn rate on this, what's the rate whenever I'm doing this swap in my lobster wallet, and I would have to literally sit down and calculate and figure this out and to know how much to send, and you've got to be doing it. So are you going to educate on that, or are you going to have like a special Telegram group for that? Because I think that if there's more education around it, there will be more people participating. At first, it's very overwhelming.
Right, and that's where things get really tricky, right? Because you're playing with someone's finances, you're playing with giving advice, and I'm not even that good at that kind of stuff. Like I'm like right honest. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just a regular guy. So I would say my approach to that would be waiting to see in the community, kind of like the NFT line, who rises to the challenge. You get some unique people who come into the project, and they may actually be good traders, certified traders, good chart readers, good analysts. And I think that we're definitely going to land some of those kind of intellects, and they would definitely be better suited to be throwing that kind of stuff up than me. Um, and I honestly, I don't check the XOGE prices all that often. I will from time to time, but like I haven't checked a single XOGE chart today, and I'm going to be in bed in another 8 hours probably. I worked a full day and now this, and but the point is that a lot of time goes by, and I don't just stare at charts or anything. I'm trying to do the other stuff. So between lack of skill and lack of time, I know 100% you would probably be more skilled and talented at doing it than myself. So, because you've already been doing this, like, yeah. So there's going to be people way better, and I'm going to leave that 100%.
I've messed around with like a couple different chains, but it's like, and you have to also like watch the news. I know for a while, BitTrue doesn't like ARBs, for example, right? However, you can still do it. You can do it until you get caught and they stop your wallet. But I think the biggest thing was waiting until a project got listed, right? Because we always saw that immediate tank as soon as it did on BitTrue, and it's just like trying to convert it. You have to know what the dollar amount is. So I'd be like Sologenic DEX to BitTrue. I'd get that wallet ready, and like, I made out a couple times on it, but at the same point, with a brand new XRPL project on BitTrue, there's not a huge trading volume. Everyone knows that. So I mean, but it's fun. It's fun. It's time consuming and it's daunting, but it's crypto.
Right. Yeah. And I think with some Excel sheets and a little bit of people in the ecosystem working on it, we're not a CEX. We're a collection of AMMs and real people, and we don't have any bots doing all of that. So, what does it equate? Well, I'll tell you, when a project lists on Bitrue, they dump that project's tokens too, and the chart fluctuation that is given is a lot done by them. They don't like you arbitraging because you're taking their profits, and they already charge the project to list.
Mhm.
Like, we're talking employee salaries and marketing and hand over fist, real regular paychecks. The XOGE market won't have that. The winners won't be employees on DEXs or
Mhm.
CEXs, excuse me. It will be the XOGE people in the ecosystem trading the token fairly. And that's what's absolutely critical, and gives us a significant advantage. Furthermore, anything that can prevent you from doing a trade that the blockchain will allow you to is a first red flag that should
Mhm.
come into someone's mind. If they got a beef with it, it's because it's like the government, you know. If you can't run, the reason that you can't run a lottery is because even if you stole 90 cents on the dollar, 90% of everything, even if you stole it flat out, you would still have a better payout ratio than the government's lotteries. Did you know that? Because
Did not know.
right, and here's where that comes in is, between, only a small portion of every dollar spent on a lottery ticket going towards the pool, right? Plus the percent in taxes, which can be like 50%, you end up with a very, very small fraction of actual money that goes to the winner. But they can get away with this only because you can't have one legally, right? So any system that's going to prevent you from, fairly transacting like what Bitrue is doing there is doing it so that they can protect their own assets and game the market. So in this ecosystem, it'll be you who gets to win because that's what we want.
You the people. All right, William. So we're an hour. Is there anything else that you want to share with us about XOGE, the world, whatever's on your mind before we cut out? Because literally, we have hit on a lot.
Yeah, we did. I just wanted to apologize to everybody. I really hope that my mic wasn't terrible. I do, like I said,
You're
I
good now.
welded it back together, and I could even hear some static coming back to me. I hope I was clear enough for everybody. My DMs are always open. The only thing that I get a bit wishy-washy about, someone like one person, and I've got hundreds who will contact me, but one person alone was typing like in Telegram my whole phone screen like twice in multiple messages. It must have sent me like, I don't know, like 30 paragraphs of text, and I literally pulled over and I'm at work and I'm trying to do my job and I'm like trying to read his word soup, and I'm like, guy, I'm at work right now. I'm trying to do my job. So, the only thing that gets hard for me is I try to answer DMs all the time. I try to just be there for the community to the best of my ability. But at the end of the day, I'm also just one guy. So the XOGE community as a whole, all the people there, um, they're just so good. And, I try to make the information as available as possible. My DMs are open, but I'm like, I would say, when people don't answer your question or you're not getting the info that you need or you're getting bad info, definitely reach out to me. And I'm like right there. Oh, I messed up. I got to fix that on the website or whatever the case may be. Because yeah, I'm just trying to do good stuff. But it's hard if, everybody just asks me the questions rather
He's
than
a
just.
human, guys. He is a human being, and make your sentences, make it short and to the point. Just like say what you gotta say. We
Here-
know you.
Here's here's how bad it is. I wore out one computer chair already in a year. But I didn't screw around, Jenna. I took the highest class, most badass leather cigar room chair.
Yes.
Like this chair that I'm in right now is like the penthouse of chairs. It is so comfortable. They don't even sell it as a computer chair. I got that thing set up at my computer because it's got padding for freaking days. Like I fall asleep in this thing if I'm not paying attention. Like boop. but it's super comfortable, so I can spend long hours in it. But still, yeah, I end up spending a lot of time at the computer.
That's why when you see him on his videos and he is chilling in his robe, like he has got a life, he's getting comfortable, and now he's trying to take care of his community. So mad props.
Thank you so much. And if anybody has any other things that we missed, or you have any questions, anything.
I don't have way back in the beginning someone asked where to buy.
See, now that's a tricky one because which XOGE would you be looking at? But the website definitely has all the chains, what wallets to use, what assets,
Here,
the
wait.
IDs and stuff to add.
I'll show everyone. Hang on. I think you redid the website.
Yeah, I caught a Black Friday deal for a year of hosting, so I scooped that and then I built this, and that it cost the XOGE project $0, not one penny did it cost XOGE. But I just put this together and I paid $60. I'm super happy because this is the kind of fiat leak when a crypto company is charging, um, you know, an employee salary, and then that employee outsources it to a company who then builds it, and that company charges them $10,000 or $20,000, and then you've got $50,000 into just having a website for a company like SafeMode, and it's like, really? What happened? What went wrong? How did you fail so epically? Right? So $60, I covered it myself, zero cost to the project. That's how things should be done. So that's what I did.
There we go, guys. And XOGE does have a YouTube channel. Obviously, latest news on Twitter. He's always there. White paper, which is everything we went over tonight. But up at the top, you'll see all the different chains. And I love that you're going to Tron. That's cool. I don't know anything about IOTA. And
Yeah, it's crazy. IOTA has like issued assets. They have NFTs. They have the whole ecosystem too. So we're on a journey together. That's what that rocket's all about.
yeah, that's awesome. So cool, guys. Yeah, check it out. Oh, wait. There we go. I was on our YouTube too. I don't know how I did that. But yeah, so thank you so much for hanging out and going over the project. I appreciate you. And please come back anytime. Wait, somebody said Jenna, ask him about Colt. I don't know what that means.
Oh, Colt. Yeah, I just tweeted about him. He's our first sponsored fighter. He's currently, you know, he's going through training at Gracie. I believe it's jujitsu. But I got that tweeted up there. He's going to be wearing. Yeah, there's Zach. Yes, Colt. Yes. Okay. So yeah, I'm really happy about that, and it seems like he's in league, but he is going to be a professional fighter. He's still fairly young lad, and he has a great record. He has a four-stripe yellow belt at this time, and like, I'm not kidding you. Um, Give me a second. I'm gonna stop. You can say something, and I'm gonna pull up a link, and then I'm gonna put it in the private chat, and then you can show it because you are gonna be blown away. Like,
Oh,
he's a real fighter.
I see. You can even share screen. It doesn't matter. But yeah, pop it in. All right, we are gonna check this out. See, I didn't even see this tweet. I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, because I paid Elon to be shadow banned and search banned, so nobody sees what I say half the time. But
Let me pull this up. Belt checker. All right. Present. Okay, here we are. Tell me what is going on.
so on the left side, you can see fighter details, name verified. These are like, verified by third parties. So these are his official stats and records. But 425 competition matches, that's insane for a young, that's a serious amount of fighter experience and fight IQ. 194 medals, that's crazy, Jenna. This guy is going to go to UFC. We're talking coming out as a young man, completely ready. And we've already got him a XOGE patch, so that's definitely coming. He loves XOGE. He's set up with it, and yeah, he's gonna be repping us out there.
Dude, half his life he has been training. Half of his life
Dude,
already.
that's a decent belt too. Don't like he's skilled. Like that kid would wreck somebody.
5 gold, 10, like all of his different accomplishments. That's so cool. And it's awesome that you're sponsoring a kiddo. So this is great.
Yeah, yeah, and it happens really fast. 5, 6 years happens so quickly, and before you know it, he quite literally could be, doing his debut. But supporting them when they're young, going through training and all that is what is required, to make better athletes. And I think that he's an excellent candidate. Like really happy that he's on board with us instead of vice versa. Like I know he likes XOGE and he's happy about XOGE, but I'm happy that he's here. I'm happy about all the talent in the whole XOGE community because that's what makes it better. It's people.
Absolutely. Good call. I'm so glad somebody brought that up to share that. That's great. All right, let me take that off. All right. So, anywho, anything else that you have for us? That is all of the questions that I have from everyone.
Yeah, in closing, I would say thanks a ton for having me. I really appreciate it. Anytime, it would be great to come back. I have been incredibly fortunate. I've got to talk to Quincy from XDC. I've got to talk to Charles from ADA. I get to talk to you and Reaper and Schmeckles and just Duncan and all these amazing project leads and people in the ecosystem. It's a fantastic time to be building for the last year in a really rough bear market, but we're making it. And when this bull market does come around for us, it's going to be fiery. It's going to be a lot of fun. So all the struggle, in my opinion, is going to start to pay off, and XRP people eventually are going to get the, I guess, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. After walking through the storm.
We better, because I will say it again. I am either going to the moon or I am sinking with the ship. There is no in between.
100%. I'm so on board. I'm like, you know what? I will literally burn these damn XRP before I take anything less than what they're worth. Like they're
Yes.
not going. Yes, you can't have them. You can't have a lot of them. I paid like $2. I bought a long time ago, and I don't want to. No, it's like no, they're worth more than that in utility, in my opinion. So I
Oh,
just
yeah,
hold them.
definitely. We'll get there. Our patience will be rewarded. That's for sure.
Yeah,
We
it's
just
like
have to forget about it.
the longest running sale on something awesome I've ever seen. So everybody's had an opportunity, and most people, instead of taking that opportunity, I mean, most people, not people in XRP, but people in crypto as a whole, most people have just taken the chance to throw some FUD or talk some
Yeah.
crap. When in
Yeah.
all actuality, it's like, dude, it's so cheap. Just buy some, and if anything that the XRP people are saying is true, then you've got some. But at this price, how can you go wrong? You could lose 50 or $100 just watching a movie. Why
At
not throw a little at XRP and have some?
at minimum, like we're down like what 80% right now, like the whole crypto, everything. Like and no financial advice is being given here, guys, at all. It's not what we do. But in my mind, I'm thinking like I know minimum like I'm gonna 10x from most of the crypto that I hold, right? But at least from that. And I'm happy with what I have on that. But I also have, gains where I will take much later. So everything from I think I said like about $3.50 all the way up to those, the moonshot of 35,000 because hey, why not? But I think it's important to be realistic though. And I think a lot of people should focus on an exit strategy. People say, I'm never selling, I'm never selling. Well, that's stupid. You should. You need to. You should pay yourself. You should take gains. It looks different for everyone. And I think that, people should really start thinking about that.
Absolutely. And another thing that people aren't really privy to but should think about as well is the massive amount of ecosystem that has been done that I guess isn't very obvious. So, briefly here, during the last couple of years, our market in crypto has gone down, but that's not the half of it. The other half of it is that during COVID, governments created currency. They almost doubled our money supply. If they double our money supply, your dollar's worth 50 cents. If your dollar's worth 50 cents and crypto went down, 8 times the multiple of crypto loss in value is what actually occurred. So we didn't just go down from like a 60K Bitcoin to a 16 Bitcoin at a 4X. Times that again by then the money supply of almost doubling, which makes that an 8X. And that's what's actually happened. And I want people to realize that there is no more of an epic sale going on right now. Like we've lost a tremendous amount of value in the market. So it is what it is.
But we're so early, you guys. We are all
Yeah.
so early, and I'm happy we're here.
Yeah, I'm super positive on it, and I know friends and family who are quite literally liquidating assets to bag more XRP, and it's not because of what I have told them. It's because I told them where to look, and they looked at it, and they said, "Okay, I'm gonna use." I'm like, "You go look at this, you figure it out, make your own damn opinion." And then they look at it, and then they start following it, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is going to be big." And I'm like, that's what I was saying, but I didn't want to say it. I gotta tell you, look at this, figure it out.
Right. You can lead
Yeah,
a horse to water, but
correct. Yeah, because it is investing in DYOR stuff, and really, a crypto is kind of like religion in a way. It's like you can't just tell somebody, no, this is the way it is, and you got to do it. Everybody's going to be like, let you putting up your dukes. Let's fight about this. You can't force things like this on people, so they have to come around to want to do it, and to want to do it, they have to like start to consume some of the information and agree with it, then like it, and then make the plunge. So
yeah,
yeah.
but the fear like of right now, and I think this SEC case has really scared a ton of people. And obviously we know when there's fear in the streets, like it's time to eat. But like it scares people. They're like, is this going to be a security? What's next? Whatever. But that's why you have to do your research. You have to find, projects that you really, really believe in. And I think the next bull run is going to be based on utility.
100%. And traditionally, here in history, we can look back and see how people made generational wealth. And they did so by being brave, taking extraordinary risk, and putting money into things that most the rest of humanity said, you're probably going to lose what you have there.
Right.
Well, that sounds exactly like XRP to me. And that's exactly what I intend to do is double down. And it's not just XRP because I know what XRP's intent is and mission is, and I believe that it's going to be a key player. But there are many other cryptos, and let's be realistic about transactions per second and what these chains can handle. There are many other players that definitely have a seat at the table. When they have Davos, Algorand goes too. So it isn't just XRP who goes.
Right.
Right? So it's important stuff, and it's going to take probably an ecosystem of tokens to make everything work. But I think that is the right direction. So I'm on board with a lot of it.
We're bullish on crypto, guys, in case you can't tell. All right, William. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on and hanging out. It has been awesome. And yep, Trump and those NFTs. I see a comment about that. That was great. Well done, sir.
Very wild.
Oh my God. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I will hope to speak to you again soon. Come on anytime.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night, and thank you for spending your Friday time with Lil XOGE out in the wild instead of doing cool stuff on Friday night.
This is my cool stuff on Friday night.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm an introvert. It's what I do.
Yeah. No, same though. It's I'm introvert, and it's difficult to do this kind of stuff. People don't always realize, going on video and speaking just straight from the mind, it's like it takes practice. It's hard.
It takes a minute, and then you have to be comfortable with looking stupid at the same point in time. You gotta be so comfortable, like, listen, I'm gonna mess up, I'm gonna look dumb, I'm probably producing shit, but I'm gonna at least try because I have to start somewhere, and here we are.
Yeah, well, that's the truth in life. Fortune favors the brave. If you don't try or don't do, you really don't get anywhere. You can wish that you're going to achieve something or get somewhere forever and not do anything towards that, and you really won't get there. Like you just got to do sometimes. So I think that it's fantastic that you're doing what you do, and it definitely helps the ecosystem. Probably more so than many projects, direct projects out there. I think people who are decent, proper, helpful content creators are far more value to the XRP ecosystem than a lot of the projects actually, because at the end of the day, you want to bring in people, you want to bring in asset, you want to bring in liquidity, and a lot of projects actually have a lot of leakiness to them, right? And that's fiat exiting the ecosystem. And Ripple Elephant alluded to this, and my only kickback on what he has to say along those lines is that some are good and some are bad, and DYOR will help a lot to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. True. Facts, 100%.
I think we ran it past double overtime. So I'm gonna stop. I promise.
We ramble because we're nerds. That's what we do. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you, William. And yeah, I'm a fan. So thanks for all you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Bye.